A few weeks ago, I had the opportunity to sit alongside some other contemporary singing voice specialists on a panel for contemporary voice at a national conference. And during that panel, I made a comment that created some interesting debate between not only the panelists and the audience, but between the panelists themselves. What did I say? And what do you think about what I said? Well, let's talk about it right after this.
Sound check. Check 1, check 2.
Well, the sun has come out here in the Djarts forecourt and it's starting to get a little bit hot, so I'm going to make this short and sweet. What I said was, I don't think it is in the best interest of developing singers that we as singing teachers overly sanitize the voice, and that was the word I used, sanitize. So what do I mean by that? When I talk about sanitization of the voice, I mean that we as singing teachers can find ourselves becoming very focused and very passionate about technique. Now, before I go on, let me stress, for those of you who follow Voice Essentials close enough and have watched my work over the years, you know that I am passionate about vocal technique. But what is that? But it has been my observation that if we are so driven towards technique and developing technique, that what it can do is it can sanitize the voice. It can literally remove the humanity, the artistry from the sound, and it leaves you with this clinical, boring voice. And so what I advocate in my studio and here at Voice Essentials is, yes, we do need to develop technique, but equally we need to develop our artistry. We need to be able to develop our ability to interpret and allow the voice to use sounds that at times may or may not be healthy if used in a habitual way, but are absolutely necessary for the conveying of contemporary sounds. There are things like aspiration and pressed voice, distorted voice, that many genres in the contemporary lineup absolutely need for them to work. If we are, as contemporary singing teachers, always driving singers towards an absolute clean onset, clean tone, no aspiration, that is, no breathiness in the sound, our singers are going to sound actually pretty boring. Certainly for the professional singers that I work with, a lot of them would start to lose work because we'd be disinterested in what they're doing. And if you think about many of the singers that you love listening to, you know, the Christina Aguileras, the Pinks, the Katy Perrys even, you know, some of these great singers over the years, the Janis Joplins, there's so many, I could be here all day. If we, you know, cleaned up their voice to the point where they were, you know, 100% locked down, perfectly healthy and sanitized, I don't think many of them would have a career. So the key is to make sure that you develop technique, and that is like a subterranean river that undergirds everything, gives life to everything above it, but it's not something that is necessarily seen by our audience, or for that matter heard, but equally that you're working on developing your overall style. Now, the key to those two is that the style is sustainable and underwritten by the technique. You'd never hear me suggest anything else, and that's why here at Voice Essentials we're constantly working on technique. But I don't want you to ever mistake the fact that the technique is there to service the art. It's not the other way around. Let's never put the cart before the horse. What do you think about what I said? What do you think about the idea of sanitized voices? Have you had experience where a singing teacher has gone about removing all the exciting things about your sound? I know, and I'll put my hand up as a singing teacher, in the early years, 15 years ago, that's what I did. When I came out of uni, I'd been taught to sanitize the voice. I don't believe that that's the way forward. I think my singers, my students, you here at Voice Essentials, you need to be able to develop great sound underwritten by great technique. So leave your comments below. I am super keen to hear what you've got to say about that. I've told you what I think. Now it's your turn. I want to hear what you think. And if this is your first time here at Voice Essentials, we would love for you to join us here And as we develop your voice and improve your sound, we want you to participate with us and join our ever-growing family of singers from across the globe who, just like you, want to raise their voice in song, for that matter, without sanitizing your voice. So, until I see you in the next Voice Essentials video, I'm Dr. Dan. Sing well.